All right, welcome to a special edition of River Talk, a River Talk Extra. Brian Crawford here in the beautiful and very hot Millville studios. We're roasting. It's been some time since I've done this evening thing where you're here roasting behind these lights. We've got Hugh Twyman over here. He's dying as well. You can see him panting if you're watching on Facebook. He's somebody who's no stranger to the music scene here in Pittsburgh. You do you do just about everything, don't you?
I do what I can attempt to do. But I've been doing it for a while, and yeah, no stranger at all.
No, so you do a lot of you do photography, you do blog, you've done some video stuff as well.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you got into all of this. When did you first get into the music scene? Because you've been doing the blog for forever.
I've forever 13 years. I
Yeah.
started the blog in 2004.
Wow.
But I've been going to shows before that. But basically, I was just into going to shows, and eventually I took a camera, and then eventually I started seeing a lot of shows. I was shooting for different organizations, mainly WYEP.
Yeah.
So for YEP, I would request a photo pass to anyone, like name anybody who came in, and I could get a photo pass. And so I just went crazy.
It's got to be cool, though, to go from that, where you were working with YEP, which is a cool thing, to now you could just be like, I'm Hugh Twyman, and they'll give you a photo pass.
Right. Well, I started concentrating on local music maybe, a while ago. I can't say when, but for the local music, because there was just a boon of talent. All these bands started popping up. Years ago, there were only like a handful maybe, but now there's a band, as you can tell with your festival and our festival, it's just like crazy. So I started concentrating on that, and then eventually I didn't have to use YEP. Hi, I'm Hugh from Hugh Shows, and people would say, "Oh, I know you," or "Oh yeah, well, what do you do?" And I told them, and they were like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So you've grown this, and you've seen the scene kind of develop over the years. Is it exciting to see it grow the way it has? What's your experience as far as seeing this growth? Because you were kind of there like before it blew up like it is now. I mean, now you've got
definitely
how many of these large music festivals with the Rain and Deutschtown kind of getting things rolling, and then Strip District, which added on for I don't know if they're coming back or not.
I've heard that they aren't, but I can't speak for that. But yeah, plus and then you guys at Millville Music Festival. I just want to say I went there as a fan, and it was fantastic, man.
Thank you.
Congrats on that. And this is what we need. We need more people to, just step up and start highlighting this music. It's great. Yeah. So no, how could you have one festival, when Rant started?
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I know just the history of Deutschtown, their first festival, I think they had 40 bands.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Their first year. And so now we're up to 3
days.
We're up to 2 days, and we're up to 230 bands, I think, this year. Yeah. And so that just shows you the amount of music here, but 300 bands submitted. So we, unfortunately, we had to turn away 180 bands.
Yeah, we had a similar problem, and we felt bad because actually, with our festival, if you were a singer-songwriter, you were golden.
Yeah,
you got in. We were looking for people like that because Millville has a lot of small venues that weren't just they just weren't going to fit a big, larger band. So so that's really where the struggle was. It was the bands were competing, and then I don't want to say competing because it wasn't necessarily a competition as far as who's good, who's not. It's a matter of who we can fit together.
It's definitely not a competition.
Yeah.
It's just I like the Rant way of doing things. Supposedly, and I worked with them a couple years ago, but supposedly if you apply, you're playing.
Yeah.
They have they'll find you. You'll play in a
Space.
toilet.
Yes.
They don't care. They'll find it. So which is commendable.
Yeah.
I love that idea. But yeah, there's only a certain amount of venues that we have, and then what are you gonna do?
Well, I feel like really your work with the music scene has really put Deutschtown on the map in many ways in modern day Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I wouldn't take credit for that. I mean, Cody Walters
you guys,
and Ben Soltesz,
your whole group.
Yeah, those two guys, they did it for 3 years. I didn't even attend for the first 2 years because I took my daughter to see Taylor Swift the first year, and the second year I was doing my thing at IDES. I did a concert series at IDES, and I was just like, I'm too burnt out. But then the third year I hosted a stage. at Wiggle Whiskey, and that was fun. And then Jessica, she bailed, or she didn't bail. She's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And so they asked me right after the third year if I would just curate. All I do is handle the bands as best as I can, and
Yeah, but that's a huge job.
It
So
is.
it is.
Yeah, as you know,
Yeah.
it's I equate it to, and I've said this before, if you take 100 cats and you dip them in baby oil and then you try to wrangle them with your elbows, that's what it's like doing a music festival. You know what I mean? I mean, talk about spinning plates, that's not even compared to, it's just crazy. But it's fun. I like doing it. I love doing it. I have the knowledge and experience to work with bands, so you know, I think it's a good fit.
So you do a lot of photography, but you also are an artist, correct?
Yes, I'm an artist. I'm an art teacher.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, you're an art teacher. Where do you teach?
I teach in the Pittsburgh Public Schools. I teach at the alternative high school, which
very
is the high school where if you get kicked out for whatever reason, say you get kicked out for drugs or assault or making up, you know, if you're trying to make up credits, you come to us and try to, you know, get back on the path.
Oh, that's interesting. So you kind of have an interesting opportunity there, right? As an art teacher with that, you know, somebody who maybe is struggling. Is that a way to create like an outlet for them?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? It's a way for them to, it's not academic. It's more, I do a studio art because I get kids from 9th through 12th grade in the same class. And sometimes I have 20-year-olds, sometimes I have 21-year-olds with a 9th grader. So I have to develop my curriculum to be open for all types of levels and all types of experiences. And when I say experiences, it's an elective class, and a lot of the students, they don't have art in high school. So they come to me and they're like, I say, when's the last time you had art? And they're like, 5th grade. And they don't want to be there anyway. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to make this work.
So how do you do that? How do you reach someone like that? Because I imagine
you try to give them experiences and give them materials, and if they go for it, then you see them blossom. If they don't, then you work with them on what they want to do and what they can do. So you just show up every day and you just say, hey, I got these projects, I got some materials, I'll show you some things, or you may discover stuff, and you know, that's the way to do it. You have to do it in a positive way too. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, my teaching style is very loose and different from a lot of other people because I like to have fun with them, and I joke around with them, and I use humor, and they really, and I respect the students as a person, so they really respond to that, as opposed to like, you have to do this and you have to do that, and this is what, you know. It's nothing like that.
And that's the thing, and that translates into life as well, because if you go through and you've got this group of people you bring together, you're working on a big show like you have coming up here at James Street. You know, if you've got people who are volunteers, especially, and you're there, you know, laying down the law and throwing the hammer down, it's just going to send people running the other way.
I learned that the first time I did the Ide show. We had the first show with couple bands, Household Stories, Paul Luke, and Satin Gum. And like 2 weeks before the show, Brian from Satin Gum texted me and said, hey man, I broke my hand. And I said, oh, my first instinct was, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, this is a disaster. But then I was like, you know what? Okay, we'll figure something out. And then, you know, we got the Red Western to play, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
so
they're great.
They're awesome. So I've applied that to everything that I do within the music scene. So if something happens, I'm never going to blame a band. I'm never going to blame a situation. I don't get mad, because people aren't going to respond to that. They're going to be like, you know, if I say, hey, you messed up and you have to be, they're going to be like, forget you, buddy. We're out of here. You know?
Exactly.
So you just roll with the tide and roll with the punches. And I think people will respond to that. And they know me. That's how I roll. And so it's cool.
Yeah, very cool. So going into music, did you perform ever? Are you a musician at any level?
I am a failed musician.
Failed musician?
No,
okay.
I know a couple chords on guitar, and I can sing off key. So a couple times I've performed with bands. Like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, I was hosting the stage at Deutschtown at Wiggle and Chad Sipe Stereo. I sang an REM song with them, and it's on video, but it's so hidden that nobody can ever see it because it's so, you know, I sing so terribly. And then for my Christmas shows, I put on a Christmas show every year. And for the 2 years, I've gathered a group of some of my favorite musicians, and we call ourselves Yaver Blue. So it's me covering a song a local Pittsburgh song, and I'll have some of the best players behind me. But then, last year we did it. I had Paul Luke and Jesse Prentice and Joe Piacquadio.
Very
so
cool.
we played
Yeah.
a Morgan Arena song. So for this show coming up, I might play a couple songs as
Nice.
Yobber Blue. And
the show is June 17th at the Gastropub Speakeasy, James Street Gastropub at Speakeasy.
Yep.
And it's gonna be incredible. I'm looking at the entire lineup. There's so many great bands, and it is free to get in. You guys are also offering donations. People can offer donations to both the Southern Poverty Law Center and the American Civil Liberties Union. So
Absolutely.
it is also a fundraising aspect
it's
as well.
definitely a charity event. We're going to have representatives from both Southern Poverty Law Center and the American Civil Liberties Union on hand to, ask for donations. I mean, it's a totally free show, like for 14 hours upstairs in the ballroom and in the basement in the Speakeasy. We have 24 bands. They're going to be kicking it, and they're going to be celebrating the Summer of Love 1967. All the bands are playing 1, 2, maybe more covers from 1967, so it's like a one-off experience for them and for the
And that's kind of
audience.
interesting too, because I'm looking at some of the bands, and some of them I'm like, yeah, I see it, and other ones I'm kind of looking and I'm thinking, man, this will be interesting. I'm interested to see how they're gonna
Interpret some of these songs,
and mix
yeah.
it into their style as well, because
Right.
stylistically some of these bands are different as well.
Well, that's the one thing I love about this lineup is that the genres are so eclectic. I mean, we have jazz with Lee Robinson and Iska. We have like the old-timey Americana with the Coyote Trio. We have, like alt rock with, a bunch of garage punk with the Knox Boys. We have Sunhound, who are like this funky swamp rock.
Yeah.
We have reggae rock with Brother from Another Mother. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's going to be so much fun. And what I did is I set up an online spreadsheet, and I said, hey, just so we don't overlap with cover songs, if you want, it's not mandatory, fill in what you're going to play. So I have that list.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, and it's weird what some of these people are playing, what they picked, first of all. But, it's going to be great.
Very cool. How did this show come together? I know it's HughShows50. What does the 50 represent?
The 50 represents two things. On June 18th, the Sunday, which I'll probably be there, definitely be there at midnight, is my 50th birthday.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah. And it's also the.
So I was creeping, and I was looking at like the year it says that you graduated high school and everything else, and I'm thinking, I wonder.
Well, I don't put anything on. I don't put birthdays on my Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because
yeah.
I don't like. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to respond to anybody saying happy birthday, which is fine if people do, but I'm like, whatever. But
People get mad at you too if you don't have that information up.
Well,
I remember like my birthday the one year, I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with it, so I muted like notifications on my wall so no one could post, and people were livid. They're like sending me messages like, how dare you? I wanted to wish you happy birthday.
Really?
And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I never got that. A couple years ago when I first started Facebook, I put my birthday on that, and then I started getting these happy birthdays, and I'm like, this is just too weird, because I started Facebook isn't my personal thing. Facebook is just for the shows. So the majority of the people I've never met, like I never met you before, but I don't know. But you'll see somebody out at a show and you're Facebook friends. And there's like this intimacy through the Facebook, but we've never met, and I think I know them, and it's crazy. So I don't put you won't find any pictures of my kids on there. You won't find anything from my personal thing, right? But with the birthday thing, I got all these birthday messages, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with people who do that. I just wasn't into it. So, but now as I think about it, hey, it's my 50th birthday, whatever. But it's also the 50th beginning of the Summer of Love with the Monterey Pop Festival on the same weekend. And I looked at my birth certificate, and I calculated with time zone difference that I came into this world when Jimi Hendrix lit his guitar.
Nice.
So I'm gonna stick with that, and that's what we're gonna go with.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so I wanted to have a show, I wanted to have a party, and this seems like it's gonna be a really fun party.
Yeah, it looks great, and it's fun to have a birthday like that. My birthday is actually on International Podcast Day.
Like, did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's
no.
awesome.
Like literally, one day I wake up, that's my birthday, and I see everybody, all the podcast networks, wishing each other happy
Thinking
International.
it was for you, right?
No, I didn't think it was for me. I was just like, I didn't even know that thing existed. And the thing is like when I started this network, I had never listened to a podcast before, and I hadn't listened to a podcast until after I had been up and running for several months.
Wow.
I had just been a talk radio guy, so I had listened to talk radio for so long. And if you listen to my show on Mondays, it's very much in that style. There's different segments, and it goes, from here to there and things like that. So, I kind of had a negative view of podcasting until I actually listened to some podcasts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I went in with kind of like this, this idea of what a podcast was, and sometimes that idea has proven to be accurate.
Yeah,
Other
right.
times
Absolutely.
not so much. There's good and bad.
There is a lot of content out there,
Yeah.
and there could be a lot of like poor stuff. But no, I think what's good about that is that you're learning from what you don't want to do.
Oh, sure.
You know
definitely.
what I mean? And then you develop your own thing, and just keep on doing it.
Yeah. So, photography got you into the music scene. Would you say that?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, well,
it's
being a
interesting.
fan did. Being a music fan got me into it. Like, there were years and years where I went to shows without a camera.
Okay.
And then I decided to take a camera to a show. It was in the mid-aughties, and I was learning about all these cool bands. And one band was Songs Ohio, Jason Molina. And I was looking on the internet, and maybe I didn't look too hard, I don't know. But I couldn't find any pictures, live pictures of him, like performing.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple promotional pictures, and I'm like, why are there no pictures of this guy performing? So I was like, that's what I want to do. And I got a camera, not that he was coming to town, but he eventually came to town, and I shot him a couple times, and I talked to him, and he was a really nice guy, and that was the impetus for that. And then I just started going crazy.
And it makes a huge difference having an actual photographer. I know I go to shows, and I'm not a photographer by any means, but I'll take a snap a picture just to like show like, hey, we're there. The River's Edge is here just
Right.
supporting so and so, and some of the pictures I take are pretty awful.
Well, I
It
started
makes a big difference,
But Brian, when I started, they're awful pictures too.
Okay.
I just kept on doing it, and
Yeah.
I was afforded the luxury of going a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and so I developed a way of doing it real quick. Like I would go see. I saw literally 250 shows in 1 year.
Oh wow.
In 2012, 2013, I was seeing hundreds of shows. But one of those shows was Amy Mann, and she came out, and usually you get 3 songs, no flash, and I'm like, that's no problem. They came out and said you get 1 song, no flash, like the first song.
Oh wow.
So, I wanted to change a lens in between, so I was like, you know what, this is no problem, I can do that. So, it was fine. Yeah, but you just practice. Whatever you do and you practice at it, you get better.
Get better, sure.
You know what I mean? And even photography now, it's like I have terabytes of images, terabytes, and it's just like I don't even focus on the photography aspect because I'm doing the TV show, and I'm still doing the blog, and I'm doing live shows. So who knows where it's going to take me? Wherever it takes me, it's going to take me where I'm having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't do anything for anybody telling me what to do. I do it for me because I enjoy doing it. When I don't enjoy it, I'll stop.
And that's one of the nice things too about having your own enterprise is you're your own boss, and that's one of the things with talk radio. You hear that a lot of times. If you listen to a lot of talk radio, the hosts will actually tell you how to do the business. They'll tell you the problems, the things they like about it, and one of the things is you get in a lot of stations where they'll kind of limit your content or tell you what you can and can't talk about, and
Yeah.
and I kind of wanted that freedom to be able to go on to my show and like I call myself. It was funny. I had a dream where I don't know why I was talking to the mayor, and I asked him about coming onto my show, and he's like, "Oh, to be quite honest, I'm not a big fan." And I'm like,
Of
"Oh,
you,
really?"
person, or like
yeah,
he's-
of my
he's-
show.
right.
Yeah, this was a dream. So
Yeah.
I never actually met the mayor. Well, I met him once, I think.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, he said, "I'm not a big fan." I'm like, "Oh," I was thinking, well, fine, screw you then. But he tells me then it reminds me of Fox News, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not like Fox News. If anything, I'm more like the National Enquirer, because I'll come up with these like crazy stories that try
Right.
to drive home a point. I'll talk about I don't know, like a situation where I got a parking ticket, so I came up with a story where a vampire was like sucking the money out of my wallet. So, and that was like, and they were wearing a meter maid's costume. But it's like, you might not get away with that in old-fashioned radio.
No, there are certain
So-
restrictions, obviously. But
Yeah.
do you deep down want to have the mayor on?
That wouldn't be bad. It would be cool.
So,
yeah. Maybe.
what's hindering that?
I don't know. I just haven't had the right opportunity yet.
Yeah,
so.
just like because I
kind of-
for my show, for
I
my
saw,
TV
yeah.
show, I was like, the mayor would be cool
Yeah.
to have on, and so I put it out to them, and they kind of came back and said, yeah, he'd love to do it. And the thing is, the worst they could say is no.
Oh yeah.
With
No,
all
I
the-
asked.
with,
Yeah.
with all this stuff, like even with photo passes, like I was always considered like, oh, I really want to go to the show. I'm like, I don't really want to go, so the worst they could say is no. And if they say no, thanks, be nice, and
Exactly. Yeah. No, I've never had any trouble asking somebody. We've had different state representatives on. We've had somebody who was running for Supreme Court on before.
Yeah.
And, different people, but it's interesting. That's one of the cool things about doing something like this or doing a blog is the people that you get to meet and talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like I meet a ton of people doing what I do, and it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. It's like going out. Like when you had the Millvale Fest.
Yeah.
I went out as a fan, and nobody was telling me where to shoot, who to shoot, how much to shoot. I was just going around doing it myself, and I had a blast, and it was fun. I saw a lot of bands, and it was awesome. you
Yeah,
know?
it's a lot of fun, and sometimes it is nice to be able to go to a festival and not be in charge or have any kind of responsibilities because you can just go and enjoy it.
It's great, but I'm sure you felt this at the Millvale thing, and I feel it a certain way. Once the festival's day is happening, it's almost out of your hands.
Sure.
You can put out little fires here and there, but you've done all the work, and you've thought about as much as you can, and then what happens is you just let it go. You just let it ride, and like I say, but if there's a major situation, you have to deal with it. We dealt with something last year, but it's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, and I kind of told that to my committee because I've put together other large-scale events, nothing this size. This was my biggest so far, but I remember I started the CalU Relay for Life, and I'm there the day of, and I felt really, really uncomfortable because there was nothing that I needed to do.
Yeah, right.
I was just walking around and everything was just happening, and you feel like there should be something going on. There should be something wrong, and you should be running in to save the day, or you should be killing yourself.
No, you're lucky that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a quiet nervousness of like, wait, no, you should be grateful because you did the work.
Exactly.
You put the work in, and everything's running smoothly. You don't want anything major to happen. That would.
No, you don't. But when it's that large, like for for this event, you have so many bands coming, and there's so much to do. That how many bands total do you have at the HughShows50?
There's going to be 24.
That's what I thought. Yeah, 24. So when you have 24 bands, you feel like something should happen, but it doesn't because it's well put together. So
well, hopefully, like we're deciding on the technical aspects to make it run smoother, but it's ultimately up to everybody involved. There's only so much I can do. There's only so much, we're going to try to put it in place, and it's up to the musicians to like be on time, be there, and kick ass, which they will. I'm so grateful that these people have decided to play. I know, I can't.
Artists.
I cannot believe it. Can I just run down the list?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have first off Benefits. They're a post-pop garage pop. They're playing at 12:30 up in the ballroom. After that, the Coyote Trio. They're like Americana and traditional jazz. They're like a three trio, and the two kids are like the stars of the Pittsburgh Banjo Club.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
the two teenagers. They're great.
Right there in Deutschtown as well.
Right in Deutschtown as well. Right. So they'll be in the Speakeasy at 1 p.m. and I think they're covering the Monkees.
Okay.
So how about that? The Monkees playing. I can't wait. Next we have the YJJs. They're going to be at 1:30 in the ballroom. They're soulful, eclectic rock and roll. We have Paul Labrise, 2 p.m. at the Speakeasy Basement. He's a singer-songwriter. Heavy Chest at 2:30 p.m. in the ballroom, and they used to be called Lone Wolf Club. They changed their name to Heavy Chest. I think they hardened up a little bit, electro indie folk. Vit Tobacco at 3 p.m. at the Speakeasy. Vit is right up the street right now at the Funhouse of Mr. Smalls hosting. I'm going to run up and say hi to him. Red Room Effect. They're at 3:30 at the ballroom. Funk rock. Brother from Another Mother, they're 4 p.m. at the Speakeasy. They're acoustic reggae rock. That's Dennis Malley and his, I think it's a duo. Brett Staggs and his band, The Daylight Mood, at 4:30 at the ballroom. Nice. Country blues rock. We have Newts, which is electro ambient, at 5 p.m. in the Speakeasy. Newts is like, the guy's name is Johnny Jitters. I think this is one of his first performances, if I'm not. It's going to be like electro, like, it's going to be great. And I can't wait to hear what he plays. Yeah. Gangwish is Sam Pace. He's the drummer. He's been around the scene for years. He's experimental alt rock. He's at 5:30 at the ballroom. I love Gangwish. Jay Trafford. He's a jazz post-punk singer-songwriter. 6 p.m. at Speakeasy. Jay Trafford brings it. The Dovewires, we just heard our intro music. They're rock and roll. Yeah. And they're from around here. I think
they're in Millville.
Yeah, they live in Millville.
Two of them are. They have actually... Evan of Grandchild.
Granddad Childs.
Yeah, Granddad Child's there, and he's now the drummer of
Right.
of Wires,
They lost
so-
their drummer, so
Yeah.
and then Granddad Childs I think broke up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So they're 6:30.
So I don't know if he's from
PM.
Millville or not, but the drummer never was. Ollie wasn't from Millville either. So.
Well, we
But
won't hold it.
two of the
We won't hold it against.
yeah, we won't
him.
hold him against it.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
two of the three though. Right. Here.
Unless he's from
Yes.
Dormont. So the double wires at 6:30 p.m. in the ballroom. The Mixus brothers, these guys are great. They're Americana psych folk. They're like, Americana weirdos, which I love in the best way. 7 p.m. at the Speakeasy. The semi supervillains at 7:30 at the ballroom. They're rock. J.D. Rao, his band's gonna play experimental alt rock at 8 p.m. at the Speakeasy. Nameless in August. They're
We
at
played them in the beginning as well.
Yeah,
so,
they're 8:30 p.m. at the ballroom, folk rock. Strange Monsters, Don Strange and his band. They're indie rockers. 9 p.m. in the Speakeasy. Lee Robinson and Iska. Or Iska. The Iska means the wind, and he's like experimental jazz. He has a really cool band.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cleanse the palate a little bit up in the ballroom at 9:30. Can't wait for that.
Nice.
Sunhound downstairs in the Speakeasy at 10 p.m. Love them. Jess and Nicole. Alternative funky swamp rock, as they say. The Knox Boys bringing it. The kids. The Garage Punks.
Yes.
They're going to be at 10:30 at the ballroom upstairs. Black Ridge will be at 11 p.m. at the Speakeasy. Funky Soul Rock. I'm going to be on DVE this Friday morning, and Black Ridge is going to play
Nice.
one of their covers. So, and I saw it on Facebook. Their rehearsal is going to be great.
Very cool.
Elkhound Alt Country Rockers at 11:30 p.m. in the ballroom. Charlie Hustle and the Grifters. They're going to be at midnight at the Speakeasy, and that's when I'm going to have my first shot because it's my birthday with them.
Nice.
Jam Blues,
There you
and
go.
then Rainbow Machine upstairs, 12:30 a.m., excuse me, in the ballroom, post-punk rockers. So I'm going to be so dead tired.
Yeah, you'll be running up and down. Hey, you'll get your exercise for the week. So
Right.
running up and down.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try to be stage managing two stage between them, but like I said, the bands they'll be professional and they'll help me out. So
Yeah, and what an awesome venue to be able to utilize at James Street, where you have these multiple stages. That's one of the things that I love about that place.
Well, we were going to consider doing something in the restaurant, but I was like, well, that's going to be like I was seriously considered 50 bands, HughShows50, 50 bands. So I was going to do another 25 bands in the restaurant, and I just came to my senses and said, no way, man. So the restaurant will be open. It's an all ages event. You can bring kids anytime, day or night, and you can even bring babies. And I said that I hosted the Devin Moses and the Save show.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, bring your baby.
Bring your baby,
and
yeah.
somebody in the crowd goes, that's weird, man. I go, well, people do. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not bringing my baby, but if
You'd
you
be
want...
surprised how many people bring babies everywhere. So I mean,
Right.
it's actually not that crazy.
Right.
I know Grist House down the road here. There's so many kids there sometimes.
Right, but
some days.
that's a different setting. That's like an open setting.
Sure.
But like I don't know. I just thought, yeah, why not? I know people who've asked me, can we bring babies? And I'm like, yeah, I don't care, bring your baby.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, it's all free. Just requesting donations, voluntary donations to the Southern Poverty Law Center and American Civil Liberties Union.
And what made you choose those two?
Well, I
organizations?
was going to choose one of them, but I looked upon the fact that the bands, I wanted to represent the bands, and I put this out there beforehand. So I had two choices, so that maybe one band was, I'm not playing for the American Civil Liberties Union, but I'll play for the Southern Poverty Law Center. Whatever kind of idea that is, it might be stupid, but that's what I came up with.
Hey,
It
works. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we'll have a couple people from them. This is the official pre-party for the Deutschtown Music
Nice.
Festival, which is July 14th and July 15th. We're going to have a good time there. But
Do we have anything new planned for that?
a couple new
event this year?
venues. Yeah,
Nice.
there's a couple new venues. We have we're having an out-of-town stage on Friday at the YMR Club. All bands from most of them are from Detroit, if not all from Detroit, I think.
Okay.
But they're like, it's going to be a killer night of music. And then we actually have a stage at City of Asylum on Saturday. It's the Haiti Fund. I don't even remember the name, but it's like an international stage. A couple new venues that we're going to try out. So yeah, And we're actually gonna have two places with we're gonna mix singer-songwriters with hip hop.
Oh, nice.
So
That's
like,
interesting.
yeah, they're gonna alternate in two different spaces throughout the day. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we have, do not forget, it is the 17th, June 17th, and it starts at noon, and it runs all day.
All day, 14 hours, hopefully till 2. Hopefully not till 2, because if we run till 2, then we're behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah. And Yavr Blue starting out, not that it's going to be anything special, but I might play a couple songs.
Very cool. Come check it out. Very exciting. What's the number one thing you're excited about? What if there's something that you just have to? Is it the shot at midnight?
It might be
It
the
might be
shot
the
at
shot at
midnight, because
midnight.
people are going to come up to me throughout the day and they're going to be like, "Hey, happy birthday, man. You want to do a shot? You want a beer?" And I'm like, "No, I can't.
No, not
I'm,
yet.
I'm drinking water." So maybe the shot at midnight might be the fun thing. No, just actually with the thing I'm excited about, maybe half of these bands I've never seen live. So I'm excited to see them, and hopefully I won't be too distracted running up and down and working. But yeah, it's going to be great. And we're also going to have a food tent outside.
Okay.
Lee's Asian Cuisine. So he's going to be serving, because it doesn't interfere with the gastropub. If the gastropub gets too busy,
Sure.
you can go out and get some, chicken on a stick and some fried rice and some egg rolls. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Check it out. June 17th, noon until midnight, or after midnight, really.
Noon until close.
Yeah, noon until close.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Check it out. James Street Gastropub and Speakeasy. Thank you so much, Hugh.
Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate it, man.
Check that out. Hugh Twyman. He is his HughShows50. Again, that is June 17th. You do not want to miss it. I'll be back Monday, 10 a.m. But don't forget, this Thursday, down in Irwin, I will be doing a show at the Music in the Streets night down in Irwin, so you can check me out there as well. I'll be back Saturday. This Saturday. I'll be on as well this Saturday, 10 a.m. with Jay and Howie, so check that out as well. We've got local music up next. You're listening to The River's Edge.